Disabilities Issues and Updates on BCTV is supported by the Berks County Center for Independent Living, Abilities in Motion.
Good morning, everyone. Thank you for joining us today here on Disabilities, Issues, and Updates, where we discuss the current happenings going on in our disability community. My name is Brianna McGovern. I'm the Disability Resource Manager for Abilities in Motion, and starting this month, I will be your new host. Before we get started today, we would like to give a shout out to Miss Beth, who is from Keystone Deaf and Hard of Hearing Services, for providing our American Sign Language interpretation today. With me today, we have Ms. Stephanie Williams, Deputy Administrator and Outreach Coordinator for Berks County Public Libraries, who will be here to discuss their recently released Accessibility and Supportive Learning Collection. Thank you for joining us today.
Good morning. Thank you so much for having me.
Before we get started here, do you want to give us just a brief rundown of what you do and what your role is at Berks Public Library?
Sure. So thank you again for having me. The Berks County Public Library System has 23 member library locations throughout the county, and in my role as Deputy Administrator and Outreach Services Coordinator, I oversee our delivery operations to our library locations. I also attend outreach events throughout the county, and we might talk about those a little later today. And I also assist our system administrator with different support services to our member libraries.
Wonderful, wonderful. So we are here to discuss the Accessibility and Supportive Learning Collection that you guys offer. Could you give us just a brief rundown of what it is and kind of how this idea kind of got started?
Sure. So the Accessibility and Supportive Learning Collection started during the pandemic. A family from Boyertown was interested in getting Braille books for their family member who has a visual impairment. So we were contacted by that family, and we weren't able to add Braille books at that time to our collection, but we did find other items such as our Braille Uno card game kit. We have a tactile Connect 4 set. So all of these items are targeting families with younger children, young learners who have some type of learning need that they might not be able to obtain these resources on their own because many of them are at a significantly higher price point. So the collection is available for any family with a library card to borrow items for 21 days, completely free of charge. And families have found this to be an excellent resource to try completely for free before investing in something at a higher price point for their family.
That's awesome. Now, as someone who works in the library industry, what do you feel like is the main purpose of something like the community library, and do you feel that this collection kind of works towards further achieving your mission?
Yes, so this collection certainly helps us achieve our mission and all of our libraries throughout the county to meet their community's needs, whether they are looking for specific tools from our STEM kits. So STEM stands for Science, Technology, Engineering, and Math. And I believe we have a slide about those as well that we may show you later during the program. We also have computer services that are available in addition to items in our accessibility collection. We also have in our accessibility collection these Enchroma colorblind glasses that are on display here. So I brought one pair along today. This particular pair is for indoor use, but we also have items that are outdoor use as well. And this particular style is for adults, but we do have kid-sized glasses too. And I'll share a story with you, if I may.
Yes, absolutely.
So we had a family from the Burnville Area Community Library who had two sons, both with the Protan color blindness, and they borrowed our Enchroma colorblind glasses, and they were fortunate enough to see a rainbow in full color for the first time.
That's awesome. I've seen lots of videos online. When these first came out, I remember they exploded all over the internet. And I remember watching just the reactions from people who first use them, their first time seeing color, and it's absolutely life-changing for a lot of people. And I find it absolutely fantastic that you guys offer something like this. I'm assuming that since this is open, based off of what you're telling me, this has generated a lot of interest in the community.
It has, and we are the first public library within the Commonwealth of Pennsylvania to have these colorblind glasses available in our collection. So we're very excited about that.
Is it safe to say that these are the most popular items that you have?
Well, it might be a toss-up. I know our Tactile Connect 4 set is also very popular as well.
Awesome. So have you received any feedback so far from those who have used it? Any positive feedback that you can kind of give?
Yes. So we had many families who have commented in particular about our STEM kits. So they appreciate being able to borrow these, especially during the pandemic when they were having their children learning with them in their home. It was hard at times to find different resources, so they were able to borrow kits like our Goldilocks and the Three Bears problem-solving STEM kit. And it provided a free activity for them to do at home, but also meet their children's learning needs as well.
Awesome. Can you explain how you guys obtained these resources? So I can imagine these are probably quite expensive. How did you get resources for this collection? And was it a community partnership? Were there donations that were made?
Sure. So there wasn't a specific community partnership. We started working first with vendors that we already use. For example, Lakeshore Learning is where we purchased a lot of our science, technology, engineering, and math kits. With the Enchroma colorblind classes, we worked directly with Enchroma, and they were wonderful to work with. We actually had a live reveal event at one of our member libraries, the Village Library of Morgantown, and Enchroma staff assisted us with promoting that event as well. We also have, let's see, let me check my notes here. The library store was another vendor that we've used in the past. So that was just greatly appreciated that we had some vendors ready to go, especially during the pandemic. Sometimes it was difficult to obtain items. And there's also limited availability within the United States. We're currently looking into purchasing more Braille books from a vendor in Canada. So
okay.
that presents a slightly different challenge to us.
Oh, I bet, but it can increase the accessibility, I'm sure. So I'm sure
Yes.
it's worth the process.
Yes.
Can you explain to the viewers, if they're interested, what they can do to loan a part of this collection?
Sure. So if our viewers have a Berks County Public Library card, they can visit our website, which is www.berkslibraries.org, and they can go to the Accessibility and Supportive Learning collection. Click on our list. We have a full inventory of all the items that are available, and you can request the item to be sent to your home library. The reason I say that is because all of these items are housed at our system headquarters location. They're not actually housed at a public library location, but we will send them through our delivery service to the requester. It usually takes about 2 to 3 days, and then they'll be notified by their home library when the item is available to pick up. And it is circulated for 21 days or 3 weeks.
Awesome. I know that AIM has also partnered with you guys before to provide you with our sensory kits that we offer.
Yes.
So with that said, technologies and things will always be advancing. Are you looking to expand this collection in the future?
Yes, we are looking to expand. We also have a survey that's included with every item that's available to borrow, and we're always asking patrons for feedback as well. We also connect with the rest of your team at AIM. We also talk with staff at the Vision Resource Center to see what clients might be interested in as well. We also look to see if there's feedback from community events too. We are looking to add Braille books, as I mentioned. We just added earlier this year what's called a C-reader pen. So it's a small device about the size of your hand that uses a Bluetooth connection, and a patron can borrow the C-pen, use it to read the text to them in a book.
Oh, that's fascinating.
Yes, it's awesome. And if someone doesn't have internet access at home, they can borrow a hotspot from a library, for example, and make that connection happen.
That's really cool. I didn't know that was a thing.
Yes.
So I want to touch on a little bit the different categories that you guys offer. So on the Berks Public Library website, you guys break down the accessibility and supported learning collection into about 4 categories. It is American Sign Language, language counting development, sensory exploration, STEM resources, and tactile and Braille learning. So you have mentioned this a couple of times, and I want to touch on the STEM resources, because that's something that I know I've seen kind of growing in schools, especially in more recent years. And as you mentioned, and for those who are watching who don't know, STEM stands for, of course, science, technology, engineering, and math. And it was a program, I believe, that started during the Obama administration era, where they used more of an applied learning approach than academic theory. And in my research in trying to learn more a little bit about STEM, because this is a little bit after my time in school, STEM, one of the things that they stressed, or what the importance as they built this program, was to stress the importance of inclusivity in the STEM industry. And the statistics that I found online really focused more on race and gender for those who are underrepresented in the STEM industry. But I didn't see many on disability statistics. Can you explain how your opinions on the importance of representing the disability community in the STEM industry, as you guys make it very clear that this is a whole category in your collection?
Sure. So for our Berks County Public Library system, we believe inclusion is extremely important. We want our libraries to be able to provide resources for individuals of all different abilities. So in addition to the Goldilocks and the Three Bears problem-solving kit that I mentioned earlier, we have a learning Braille kit with alphabet flashcards, a set of 26 Braille alphabet tiles, and letters and numbers as well, all to help children learn Braille. And this particular item is recommended for children ages 2 and older. And we feel that it's a great opportunity to expose other children who don't have a visual impairment to someone who might have to learn just a little differently than they do, and that there are different supports and they can play games together, they can learn together. We also have the remote control GearBot. And this is awesome. This is probably one of my favorites, but don't tell anyone. I like to get it out and play with it. It is a real moving robot that kids can design themselves. And you can see on screen, he is fully assembled here. It's a combination of gears, claws, heads, and more to a motorized base. And then there's a remote to direct the robot. And this particular tool is recommended for children ages 4 through 10. And when a patron searches in the catalog for these items, it does provide the information for each item, the recommended age group. So while we're talking a lot about families who might be interested in this, if there's an educator in Berks County who has a Berks County Public Library card, they can borrow this and use it in their classroom.
That's so cool. I kind of am a little jealous. I was beginning with it too. I didn't have that when I was a kid, and it
I
looks
should invite
fascinating.
you over and we can test
Listen,
it out.
I will be more than happy to set some time aside to try and check that out. So your website also mentions something called the Library of Accessible Media for Pennsylvanians. Can you explain, and in quotes it says LAMP, can you explain what LAMP is and how it increases accessibility to the disability community?
Sure. So LAMP is provided through our state library, and the program has recently gone through a little rebranding. So patrons might be familiar with accessing it through the Free Library of Philadelphia or through the Carnegie Library in Pittsburgh. But the Library of Accessibility Media for Pennsylvanians does have an application process, and we do have a link to that on our website. And the application is twofold. There's a verification process for the library staff to make sure that you qualify for the program, meaning you have some type of visual impairment or a physical impairment that you would like some additional support to be able to read or listen to books. Then there's another part of the application which assists library staff to make sure you're receiving the format that you need and what you really want to read, whether it's maybe romance or if you would like to listen to a James Patterson audiobook. There's just a section about getting to know your preferences.
Awesome. You mentioned that there's an eligibility requirement, and when it comes to things like that, could you explain what applicants might need? Or so in other words, a good chunk of eligibility is usually through diagnosis or a diagnostic test by a doctor. Outside of, well, actually I should ask, is that something that is required? Do they need a doctor's note? Or is there anything else that they need to provide on top of the application so they know that they should be prepared when they apply?
Sure. So there is an option to have a medical diagnosis provided and completed by the medical team. Another option is to have the application completed, bring it to a public library, and have a library administrator verify that, yes, I see you have a visual impairment and you need e-audiobooks or regular audiobooks.
Okay, awesome. And it looks like we're coming to an end here quickly. Can you explain, do you guys have any important events that are coming up that you wanted to share with us?
Yes, so you will see me and my team at the Senior Expo at the First Energy Stadium coming up on October 5th. And this is actually National Library Card Sign-Up Month. So if patrons don't already have a library card, they should come to us. If they had one but maybe lost it, get over to your public library. We'll help you with replacing it.
Awesome. I think what you guys are doing is absolutely phenomenal, and I hope to see this. I've seen pictures of your accessibility learning collection, and I'm excited to see where your collection grows and how much more you guys can provide to our disability community. Before we end here, we do want to mention some things here before our time is over. This week is National Disability Voters Week, and September 20th is National Voter Registration Day. So one of the things that AIM is looking to start soon, and for you guys to keep an eye out, we are starting a voter project. So we will be offering assistance to those in the community that would like to register to vote. You can contact us at 610-376-0010 for more information on the different options of ways to vote. And if you would like assistance in registering to vote, we will also do that as well. We are working with community partners to try and be present in our community at different locations. So stay tuned for those. And we also wanted to mention a program that we're offering for It is a public transportation option program that we're offering to the community. It is free. Our first session is going to be on September 26th between the hours of 3 and 5 p.m. And it's just to discuss the different transportation options available to those in the disability community, along with a special presentation from Vicki Widener from BARDA Special Services. And on other things we'll be discussing is travel preparedness, what to do when you're about to go out to a location, along with a discussion on what are some of the obstacles that people with disabilities run into in terms of transportation to get to places. That will be held at the Berks Community Foundation. For more information, check out our websites, our social media pages, and if you'd like to call in again, we'd be more than happy to answer any questions. And our second session will also be on October 24th in partnership with Tower Health so that we can reach every person in our disability community. That will be between the hours of 4:30 to 6:30 p.m. in the Friends Room, and it will be essentially the same thing. We'll still have a presentation by BARDA Special Services, and if we will also be providing this as well online, so it will be a hybrid. So if for some reason there are people who feel like it may not be safe for them to go out into the community, and just for ease of accessibility and transportation, there is a registration form online. Again, feel free to check out our social medias for that registration form, or if you'd like assistance, you could go to the you can give us a call, and for the October session, you can actually go onto the Tower Health website where they have provided us with a registration link of their own. And you could also call into their helpline and they'd be able to help you register that way. Is there anything else that you wanted to mention while you're here?
I think that was everything. Thank you again for having me.
Absolutely. Well, I think that's all we have for today. So thank you all for joining us this month, and we will see you in October.
Disabilities Issues and Updates on BCTV is supported by the Berks County Center for Independent Living, Abilities in Motion.